Well, hello, Information Nation. It is your lady on the go, lady in the know, Miss Info. You have reached the Information Nation where knowledge is shared and wisdom exchanged for the betterment of a people. Good evening. How are you? Well, I promised you a video, and I'm going to do that. Regardless of the fact that I don't know how it's going to turn out on the platform, but it is what it is. Today, I want to talk to you about bad boy, what you gonna do? I think you know which bad boy I'm talking about. And I'm going to start off our discussion by talking about some of the rumors that have been going around. And then I want to end up giving you some facts that I uncovered regarding Social Security. So we've heard the rumors, and now we are seeing the aftermath of Trump's second term. And Project 2025. Let the evidence speak for itself. Tick them off one by one. Project 2025 said it would radically overhaul the executive branch of government. Project 2025 is a 900-page manual that reorganizes every federal government agency one by one. Project 2025, that's the basis of his whole second term, is comprised of 140 former Trump staffers. Project 2025 is written from a dystopian view. That is a futuristic viewpoint from a very bad or frightening point of view. It is utopia gone wrong. 2025, Project 2025, touches on every aspect of American life as we know it, from immigration, abortion, and free speech. Many of the initiatives are downright unconstitutional. So, let's talk about how all of this rigmarole has upended the Social Security Administration. Let's talk about what's really going on with the Social Security Administration. Now, it was created as an independent agency of the U.S. government. It was formed as the Social Security Act of 1935 as part of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal. Social Security taxes were first collected in January of 1937, and the first payment was made 2 years later, actually 3 years later, in 1940, in the amount of $22.54. In 1946, it was renamed the Social Security Administration under President Harry S. Truman's reorganization plan. Remember, it started out as a Social Security Act, and then it was renamed the Social Security Administration under President Truman. In 1953, the Social Security Administration was placed under the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. But by 1980, it had been reorganized and turned over to the Department of Health, and Human Services. In 1972, they began giving cost of living adjustments because of inflation. So Social Security is a social insurance program. That's really what it is, consisting of retirement, disability, and survivor benefits. It is headquartered in Maryland, just outside of Baltimore. And in 2018, it employed about 60,000 people. Now, I have some notes here that I want to share with you. That these people, these 60,000 people in 2018, were organized. They were under a union, Local 1923, which is the American Federation of Government Employees. I need to look that up, because if you're covered or you're protected under union, you should have some rights, right? So, to qualify for benefits, most workers pay Social Security taxes on their earnings. Benefits are based on the wage earner's contributions, what you pay in. However, SSI, which is supplemental security income, is based on need. You didn't have to pay in to get SSI. You had to be disabled and unable to work and qualify under the requirements, and then you could be awarded SSI. So here's a twist. Somebody called Social Security an entitlement program, right? Someone else said that it was an earnings program, that we earn the money, and so therefore we are owners of the money. It's my money. Hold on. In 1960, the Supreme Court ruled in Fleming versus Nestor that the Social Security is not a system of accrued property rights, and that those who pay into the system have no contractual right to receive what they have paid into it. What the what? Really? So anyway, here's the deal. I looked up Fleming versus Nestor, and the Supreme Court ruled that you have no right to that money as your property. It's never been challenged or changed. Nobody has changed it. And in order for it to change, it takes an act of Congress. Because this Social Security Administration was signed into law by President Truman. However, Congress retains the right to amend, discontinue, cut off. They retain the right to do, excuse me, with Social Security, whatever they want. Now, I find that to be egregious, downright wrong. So Congress can modify or terminate Social Security Administration whenever they get good and ready. And where does that leave us? Those of us who paid into it. Fleming versus Nestor. Mr. Fleming was not a United States citizen, and he got deported. And when he got deported, they cut off his Social Security earnings. 19 years worth of Social Security he had paid into. And that's how we found out that Social Security is not considered your property. But I thought it had a twist on it because he wasn't a natural citizen of the United States. So I figure if you're a citizen of the United States, this is your property. This is your right. So I checked with AI, artificial intelligence, that everybody's using. And AI said it is considered the property not of the wage earner, but of the federal government. Now, in order for it to be changed, or to change that ruling, Congress would need to make the changes. Number one, it would be needed to be put into a proposal by a member of Congress. Number two, it would go to committee review, both in the House and the Senate. Number three, there will be debate on the floor of both chambers, Republican and Democratic. And number four, after they agree to whatever they agree to, it goes to the president's desk to be signed into law or to be vetoed. The current president that we have, even if we challenge this and it made it to the president's desk, what do you think he would do? I think he'd veto it. He's not signing it over. And right now, the way it looks, technically the money is not yours. I don't know how we let that get away. I worked for it. I put it into the Social Security kitty, the pot, expecting to be able to pull it out when I needed it when I retired. Now, technically, that's the way it's going. They pay about $1.2 trillion out to about 67 million recipients. That's just plus or minus a few 100,000. I don't have the exact numbers, but consider it that's the way it goes. Right now, Social Security has been gutted. They've cut down jobs, they've closed departments, they've closed divisions. I'll get the exact numbers and let you know. But in 2025, Social Security has been gutted. And basically, according to my notes here, there's only about enough Social Security money as we stand until about 2035. In 2035, they need to start looking at either an alternative means of funding or cutting back on the amount that you would be receiving. Now, this report came from the Social Security Administration's website. I don't know if we can trust them right now. And it says that 60% of 18 to 44-year-olds doubt that Social Security will be there when they're ready to retire. 60%. And 75% of the people that were polled said that a person's benefits will likely still be there if no changes are made to the program. So if you don't change anything right now, if you don't gut it, cut it, fire people, get rid of folks, more than likely we could manage to squeak on by like we've been doing for the last, 70 years? But I'm not willing to bet on that. So if you don't have a pension, or if you don't have some savings put away, Baby, it don't look good. Now let's talk about Elon Musk and the DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency. This is a new initiative. It was established in January of 2025. Soon as Trump came in, he put the Department of Government Efficiency together and put Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest men in the world, in charge of it. And he's a South African. He's not a naturalized United States citizen. I think he is a U.S. citizen, but he wasn't born here. According to this report, DOGE has targeted various federal agencies, including the Social Security Administration, for cost-cutting measures. Said that they were going to uncover fraud and waste. I'm all for that. Don't be messing with my money. That's all. So, the department's, DOGE that is, broader role seems to be focused on reshaping how federal agencies operate. I think it's the way they're going about it. The tariffs, the unwillingness to negotiate with folks, taking away freedom of speech, locking up people. ICE has gone crazy. That's the division that deports people. As a matter of fact, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has announced plans for further reductions in other federal agencies. These measures include workforce reductions, contract cancellations, and potential changes to service delivery. Now, I've called Social Security and been online for hours. Specifically, 2 hours once when we weren't able to go into the offices right after COVID. And you think it's going to get better by stripping down the workforce? I don't think so. I mean, an elementary child could figure that out. If you take away the people who do the work, what's going to happen? You have less people to do the work, and more people are coming on that need the service. Did you see in Florida, they have eliminated and deported so many immigrants that now they are going to the citizens and asking them to change the labor laws, to allow them to change the labor laws so that children, teenagers, ages 16, because I think you can start working at 16. They want to lower it to 14 and allow 14 to 18-year-olds to be able to work as much as they want overnight on school nights. What? What kind of mess is that? And they done got rid of the people to do the work. Now they want the kids to do the work. I don't think so. My children wouldn't be doing it. This is really concerning. Now, somebody put a rumor out that we were going to get a $5,000 stimulus check. So I went to the Social Security website, and there was some talk about a $5,000 stimulus check. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is the one who started that rumor. This idea is that they would return 2% of the savings that they identify by DOGE. If it was any savings, 2% would come back to the taxpayers in the form of a $5,000 stimulus check. This plan hasn't been approved. It didn't go to Congress. Well, Elon Musk didn't go to Congress. And it has no official legislation or timeline announced. So don't be looking for $5,000 because really, it ain't coming. They also said, the Trump administration said, that they had uncovered a whole boatload of money that had been confiscated as a result of illegal Bitcoin activity or cryptocurrency. I don't know the numbers exactly, but they're holding on to it. Shouldn't we get that money? If you're going to mess with Social Security, if you're going to cut and take things away from people, shouldn't we get that money? What do you think? Drop me a note in the comments. So they've had some talk about how they would distribute those funds that were collected from the illegal Bitcoin activities. They've seized billions of dollars. And these funds are typically managed under federal asset forfeiture laws. Therefore, the government owns it and can do with it as they please. Like my granddaughter's cheerleading team said, and we do as we please. Yeah, well, we are the American public. We put you in office, and we should be able to take your behind out of office. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen with marches and jumping up and down and throwing ketchup up against the wall and sandwiches up against the wall and throwing temper tantrums. It's not going to happen. We need an impeachment process, and we need it now. I'm reminded of Hitler. He wasn't in there 6 months. Within 3 months, he had instituted the, you had to wear a chain with your ID on it. And recently, I had to go to the motor vehicle and get what's called the real ID. As a result of 9/11 and the terrorist attacks and all this turmoil, federal government said that everybody by May 7th of this year had to have an ID with a star on the top of it identifying that you had passed federal inspection. You had a right to live and work here, and your driver's license or your state-issued ID card will have a little star on the top. Is that like the 666? Man, we are in for a rough ride. And I'm telling you, got to keep your eyes open, your ears open, keep your head down low. Pay attention. There are some things on the horizon. I've seen Bernie Sanders. I've seen former President Barack Obama has spoken out. I've heard some great things coming from former White House secretary. People are rallying against this foolishness. Look at the vets, how he rolled over on them. The poor guys up in Detroit told him he gonna bring the car industry back. And he gonna do that by putting that, 12% tariffs, 25% tariff? This is ridiculous. I want to say the USA is going to hell in a handbasket, but we ain't quite there yet. Hang on, hang in there. You know, it's not as bad as it sounds. The media is awful. They keep you guessing and worried. I done seen that thing about Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor getting on Trump about trying to shut down MSNBC. That's been rolling around on the internet for weeks now. Don't give it any life. Nothing is going to actually go into law without Congress. Nothing. He can say what he wants. He can jump up and down all he wants. That's why he is running this administration off of executive orders. Executive orders have to be obeyed, but they are not laws. All right? And you remember that. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know. And you better ask somebody. Till we meet again, stay safe.